What's going on, everybody? It's me, Ben. I am live here on YouTube at Ben Cornet 9015, and welcome to another episode of Have At It. This is episode 89, and today's episode we're gonna dive right into a busy sports week. Um, Obviously, we've got a lot of NFL news to cover. Also, it is opening week in Major League Baseball. I'm very excited about that. We got another season of baseball coming up. Also, we got the NCAA tournament. The Sweet 16 begins tomorrow night, and more stuff. So, how is everybody doing tonight? I'm doing pretty good. So why don't we begin with some NFL news? Obviously, the big news coming out, at least today or yesterday, Russell Wilson has signed a one-year deal with the New York Giants. It's a one-year deal. It's worth $21 million, $10.5 million guaranteed. This is coming after a few days earlier over the weekend. The Giants also signed quarterback Jameis Winston to a 2-year deal worth $8 million. So, interesting take on that one. You know, with the Giants, obviously, there's a lot of talk that they would draft a quarterback, Shedeur Sanders. And now you go in and you sign Jameis, and then you signed Russell Wilson. So, question is, will the Giants still draft a quarterback, or will they look elsewhere in the draft as far as position goes? It would tell you that, you know, they may perhaps look at another position, or they may trade down with the pick. Or, you know, you never know. They could still draft Shedeur Sanders. You just never know because, you know, hey, it's a one-year deal for Russell Wilson. You could have a Shedeur Sanders. You know, for example, let's just say it is Shedeur. He sits, he, you know, learns and is right under Russell Wilson. But then again, if you're picking the quarterback in number 3, you know, you normally play him right away. So it's going to be very interesting to see what they do with that. Now, they drafted Drake May, I believe, 4th last year overall, and Jacoby Brissett started. So who knows? I mean, it's going to be a very interesting dynamic to see what the Giants do here, but it kind of tells you they want to go with a veteran right now, feeling like if they could just add pieces around Russell Wilson, then, you know, they feel like they can compete next year for a playoff spot and then worry about 2026 when they get there. As far as the competition goes, will it be a competition with Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston? They'll say that, but I'm pretty sure if you're going to sign Russell Wilson at $21 million, that's starter money. So he's going to be the starter. Jameis is in to be a backup at this point in his career. And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, he's proven that he can be a backup in this league. You know, for all his, you know, let's say his flaws as a Bucs fan, you know, we know. But there is some good. He can throw the ball. He can make plays. He's serviceable, that's for sure. And he's entertaining, you know. So that's fine. But, you know, you're going with Russell Wilson, I'm assuming, as your starting quarterback, which we saw last year. He had a couple nice games here and there. And then he's just faltered. And his best days are over. That's pretty obvious. You know, the question now is, what can you get out of him for the 2025 season if you're the Giants? This is just one of those things where you feel like you can compete in the NFC East, because let's remember, you got Philly, the Super Bowl champions. You got the Washington Commanders, who are, the trajectory is sky high right now. They were a game away from getting to the Super Bowl before losing to the Eagles. You know, you're in a tough division, and, you know, this feels like, to me, the Giants are a little desperate, and they want to, you know, try and stay relevant here. But I just feel like Russell Wilson, he's not the guy. And you signed him for 1 year, so it's pretty obvious, you know, he's not going to be your future. But if next year you're trying to win some games, okay. But do you still draft a quarterback? Do you draft a Shador or a Cam Ward if Cam Ward's there? More and more I think about it, and from what I've seen and read, the Titans seem pretty enamored with taking Shador. They even said they would take an incredible package to trade out of that first pick. My personal feelings on that is I think Tennessee should trade down, but I also understand why the Titans would want to draft a guy like Ward. They're going to get a new stadium in a couple years, and they want to start selling tickets. So you can make a case for both sides of the argument. But back to the Giants, as far as I'm concerned, again, this is a 1-year deal. We'll see how it plays out. But it tells me they may still draft a quarterback. Maybe not in the first round, but maybe in the second or third round. It's not a great quarterback class this year, but we'll have to wait and see. So that's my thoughts on the Russell Wilson trade, or the signing, I should say. Also, Stephon Diggs signed with the New England Patriots, 3 years. I think it's like $69 million, a little over $40 million guaranteed. It's interesting signing. I can dig it, no pun intended. Gives a legit weapon for Drake May to throw to. You got besides Stevenson, you got Hunter Henry there, the tight end. So Drake May, because a good offensive line, and that's what they got to draft. They got to draft an offensive line. This team could do some stuff. Mike Vrabel's there now. He's really getting that defense going. They did some good stuff in the offseason as far as free agency goes. So, Carlton Davis signed with them, with the Patriots, I should say. So they're going to be pretty good defensively. Offensively, their line needs to get much improved. They do that. Drake May, can show you some things. So looking forward to seeing what the Patriots do with that. And Diggs, he's a little older, but again, gives them a solid receiver, and that offense can get good pretty quickly. And they're going to have to. You're in the division with Buffalo, Miami, both have much better offenses. The Jets, if that Justin Fields, Garrett Wilson connection can get going, they both played at Ohio State. They know each other, so it should be an interesting division to watch next year. So that's pretty much the NFL news. We're still, and by the way, with Russell going to the Giants now, everybody's going to start to talk, where's Aaron Rodgers going to go? You think it's pretty much going to be the Steelers, but we'll see what happens. We never know. Maybe Aaron Rodgers still holding out hope that the Vikings may call him back. They pretty much said they are moving forward to J.J. McCarthy, but, who knows? It's still ongoing. You never know what'll happen. Depends on the draft and other things, other circumstances. We'll see how that plays out. So that's pretty much it on the NFL news. Now we'll get into baseball opening week. Opening day starts tomorrow. I'm very excited. My Los Angeles Dodgers, defending world champions, we're ready to go. We got the Detroit Tigers. It's going to be a lot of fun. The series should be pretty good, and who knows? This could be a preview of the matchup we see in October, perhaps. Listen, the Tigers are going to be, they're a contender this year, in their division. They got good pitching there, with Flaherty, and then tomorrow's starter, Tarek Subal. They got some talent. Javier Baez, big bat for them. This team could be pretty good, and I think they're good enough to win a division. They went to the playoffs last year. I said last year too. I was telling people that they were, I felt like this team could be a dark horse to make the playoffs last year, and that's what they did. And hopefully this year. They, add on to that. And like I said, tomorrow, opening day, Dodgers. The expectation we all know, win the World Series, repeat, especially when you're putting all that money in or deferring it to 20, 21, 55, whatever. So, and tomorrow starter for the Dodgers, it's going to be Blake Snell. He just signed with the Dodgers, coming from the Giants last year. Then Yamamoto's going Friday. And then another guy we signed, another pitcher we signed from Japan, Roki Sasaki, going Saturday. And then we got Tyler Glass now. Hopefully he stays healthy. Dustin May's supposed to be coming back. So, and also, as far as hitting goes, we all know, if you've been following, Mookie Betts has had a kind of an illness going on, stomach illness. But he's getting better, and they're saying that he should be in line to play opening day. That's good news. Obviously, you definitely need his bat. Hitting number 2 in the 2 slot behind the leadoff hitter, we all know, Shohei Ohtani, who's supposed to pitch this year, but he's being held off pitching at least for the first month of the season. So until he's 100% ready to go and pitch. And then, we got Freddie Freeman, Teoscar Hernandez. I mean, the lineup 1 through 4 is pretty damn good, to say the least. So I can't wait. That's tomorrow. That game, by the way, Tigers, Dodgers, going to be on ESPN, ESPN Plus, and Disney Plus. So let's get to it. Let's get it going. It's going to be a long season, but it should be a lot of fun. Cannot wait. Also, we got some comments in this section. Nice. Let's bring them on in here. Zagnif Productions. Thank you for tuning in. He says, "What's up, brother? What's up, Zagnif? How you doing tonight?" Thank you for tuning in. And he also says, "Giants fan, let's ride." Yeah, it's going to be fun. Russ and Jameis. Jameis' next viral video will be of him eating a New York slice. Yeah. Hey, you know what? We could make fun of Jameis all we want, and believe me, I've done my fair share, but he is entertaining. You got to give him that. He's definitely entertaining. He hasn't met a camera that he didn't like or fingers that he hasn't licked. So it should be very interesting, especially the pizza, you're going to get a little grease and sauce on there. You're going to definitely lick those fingers. And Zagnif goes, "Nah, Dion isn't going to let Sugar go somewhere and sit." Well, we'll see how much pull Dion has. But I think Primetime needs to worry about what he's doing at Colorado. So let him worry about what he's doing. And then Mr. Sean Spencer, thanks for tuning in, sir. What's up, Ben? What's up, Sean? How you doing tonight? Catch him on Washington Football Weekly at a show. I believe he's got a show tonight, if I'm not mistaken. If correct me if I'm wrong there, Sean. He did a show, I think earlier today or something like that I saw on my feed. Sean Spencer, Jameis threw for 5,000 yards and 30+ TDs. Shouldn't that warrant a quarterback competition? Well, on the surface, you would think, right? You would think so. But I know you haven't forgot, Sean, but I know some others might remember that he also had 30 interceptions. So, but at this point, I mean, neither guy's your answer for the Giants. They're not your future for the Giants. Russ is not. Jameis is not. There'll be a competition, but Russ is getting 21 million, 10.5 million guaranteed. That's kind of like starter money in a way, So I don't see, unless Russ, God forbid, gets hurt, it's his job to lose. So Jameis is there to be the backup and do viral stuff with eating pizza and licking his fingers. So if for some reason Jameis's number gets called, great. He's a serviceable backup, but I think it's going to be Russ starting week 1, my opinion. College football update tonight at 8 p.m. Cool. I will definitely check that out. We'll post that in the Ben Zone. So check out Sean Spencer. I believe Alex Loosemore is with them too. So they will definitely get you caught up on college football. Can't wait for that. Coming up this fall as well. So how many quarterbacks have thrown for 5,000 yards? 5K. That's a good question. I'd have to look that up. Matthew Stafford, maybe? Perhaps? Just taking a wild guess, but yeah. So, Sean, since you're in the comment section, by the way, appreciate you being on tonight, you and Zagnev. March Madness continues. Sweet 16 begins tomorrow night. Man, we got the games. It's going to be the East region and the South region. The games that will be kicking off will be BYU and Alabama. Should be an interesting game for sure. BYU playing very well right now, coming out of the Big 12, going up against Nate Oates in Alabama, number 2 seed in the East region. Very good team. Man, the guard play is going to be good. If I had to pick, I'm going Alabama. BYU is good. They can shoot the ball, but Alabama's just, their guard play is really good in the backcourt. Too much size up front. I'm going with Bama in that game. And then out of the East region as well, number 4 Arizona, playing number 1 Duke. Obviously Caleb Love, the Wildcats. He knows Duke very well because he played in the ACC with North Carolina back in the day. Going up against Cooper Flagg and the Duke Blue Devils. Should be a really good game. I'm going to go Duke. I just think they're the better team. Arizona will give them a game, keep it close, but in the end, I do like Duke to prevail over Arizona. And then we got Maryland and Florida out of the West region. Maryland winning on that buzzer beater by Queen. Ended up beating Colorado State to move on to the next round. A lot of people saying that might have been a travel on that play. And it looked like it, but in the end, Maryland won. And, they're moving on. They're going up against the number 1 seed Florida Gators in the West Regional. Florida's good, man. They got some players, and it's going to be a tall task for Maryland for the Crab Five, as they call them. But I'm going to go Florida. Just too much size. One of the best players is Will. Forget his last name, but he's a good player, man. And their shooting's phenomenal. They grind it out for 40 minutes a game. I think Florida's going to be a little too much for Maryland, so I like Florida beating Maryland tomorrow night and advancing to the Elite Eight. And then the other game in the West Regional, Florida's conference rival Arkansas. John Calipari, big win over St. John's. They go up against Texas Tech. Texas Tech out of the Big 12 conference, kind of a under the radar kind of team. They're good rebounding team, good defensively, and they can put up a lot of points. This is going to be a fun game. I think Texas Tech's going to be a little too much for Arkansas. I know Arkansas is kind of that team everybody likes that could possibly get to the Final Four. Calipari's got the experience, but Texas Tech, I think, is just going to be a little too much. I like them over Arkansas tomorrow night and advancing to the Elite Eight. And as you know, Friday night, we got the Midwest region. Ole Miss going up against Michigan State. Should be a fun game. Another SEC team in there. 7 SEC teams, by the way, in the Sweet 16. That's a record. Michigan State out of the Big 10. Obviously, Tom Izzo. This is just the norm for him. So he's trying to get back to the Final Four, trying to break that Big 10 national title drought. The last time the Big 10 won a national title, Big 10 team, was Michigan State back in 2000 with Team Cleaves, Morris Peterson. What a squad that was. Now you're saying, well, Maryland, they won 2002, right? But they were in the ACC at the time. So it was Michigan State that was the last Big Ten team to win. Hopefully Tom Izzo, for him, they get another shot at it. We'll see. And as far as that game goes, I'm going to take Michigan State. I think they're a heck of a team. Chris Beard's a good coach from Mississippi, but I just think, with Jace Richardson and that team, their backcourt's really good. I think they're going to overwhelm Ole Miss's backcourt. So I'm taking Michigan State in that game. And as well as the other Midwest regional game, Michigan, number 5 at Auburn. Michigan, Dusty May's first year there, phenomenal to the team that had I believe only 7 or 8 wins the year before, and has got this team, 2 wins away from getting the 4. That's just unbelievable. The last time Michigan made a Final Four was, I believe it was 2015 or 2016, I think it was. So, man, they're on a mission, but it's going to be tough. They got to go up against Auburn, with Broom, the Player of the Year, Denver Jones. Bruce Pearl's team's phenomenal. Michigan, I will say they do got the size to compete with Auburn. With Golden and Danny Wolf, Trey Donaldson. That's going to be a fun matchup. Lubin and Donaldson, that backcourt from Michigan, against Denver Jones and. I really think this is going to be a fun game. I think Michigan has a shot to win, but I'm going to take Auburn. I think it's going to go down to the last minute of the game, but I just think Auburn's a little too much firepower, so I'm giving it to Auburn. But it'll be interesting because we got 2 matchups where we can have either an all SEC regional final or an all Big Ten regional final. Michigan State. Round 3, Ole Miss and Auburn, round 3 as well. So we'll see how that plays out. And then finally, in the South region, Friday night, an SEC matchup, Kentucky and Tennessee. That should be a fun game as well. Kentucky, Mark Pope's done a great job with that program. His first year there, taking over Calipari. It'll be interesting if Arkansas and Kentucky meet in the Final Four. Calipari goes up against his old team, but before they do that, they got to get by Tennessee. Now, they've beaten Tennessee twice earlier in the year. Kentucky has. That's a team that's, their backcourt's phenomenal. Tennessee, we all know Zakai Ziegler, great point guard. Kentucky has that mental edge right now. They've beaten them twice this year, but I'm going to take Tennessee. It's so hard to beat a team 3 times in a year. I think Tennessee finally gets it done. They finally beat Kentucky and move on to the Elite 8. And the other game in the Midwest region, you got Purdue, the 4 seed against the number 1 seed Houston Cougars. That'll be fun as well. Houston's, phenomenal team as well. I'm going Houston over Purdue. I just think their backcourt's, just a little bit better, and their front court. Both offensively and defensively, Houston can get the job done. So I'm going Houston over Purdue. That'll set up the Tennessee-Houston Elite 8. So, yeah, let's get ready because tomorrow night, Sweet 16 time. Now we get down to some very good matchups, and I cannot wait to watch. We got another comment in the section. Sean Spencer, he's saying, we're talking about the issues at Georgia, and if these issues with law enforcement are a coaching problem, or is this something that happens around the league and we're just not hearing about it? I think you mean Georgia football there. Sean, I'm going to be very honest with you. I haven't been too in tuned to the situation with Georgia. I mean, they're having a lot of issues, and it's I get it with the coaching issues. Is it an issue? It can be. The coach can only do so much, but at the same time, I do think Kirby Smart has to get a little more involved with what these young players do. You're bringing in these players that, especially with the NIL these days, the transfer portal. These players are getting paid now. So, my personal opinion on it, it's tough now with the NIL because these players are getting paid. You're bringing them in, and you're going to take chances, but at the same time, this problem has been reoccurring over and over again with Georgia football. So it's a deeper problem. It is maybe coaching and just a lack of discipline. Lack of controlling your players on the team. So you do in a way have to put it on Kirby Smart. He has to get this nipped in the butt, or else it's just going to become a bigger problem, and perhaps losing his job. So who knows what'll happen there? But I will listen to you guys tonight, see what your thoughts on it, because it is a big issue. Again, I haven't been really in tune into the situation, but just from what I'm seeing and hearing, it's not good. It's a reoccurring problem that needs to be addressed, big time. Lives have been taken from this, unfortunately. Players have been arrested, and this is something that really needs to get addressed. But we'll see how that pans out. And like I said, I'll listen to your guys' opinion on it because it's very intriguing, and it is a problem that needs to be addressed for sure. These guys have always been getting paid. Now we know about it. Yeah, I mean, even before NIL, I'm sure there might have been some under the table, payments, but still, it's a problem. And when you give young players money, a lot of them are gonna, make mistakes. They're gonna get reckless, off the field. But again, that's a university issue. That's a coaching issue, and it definitely needs to be addressed for sure. So, yeah. Well, I will say that this has been an interesting episode. Like I said, we got opening day tomorrow in Major League Baseball, Sweet 16. Who knows? We might get more NFL news coming out, and then obviously the college football stuff going on, the Georgia situation. And by the way, we had an unfortunate injury this week in the NCAA tournament, the women's side with USC Juju Watkins. Just really unfortunate. She ended up tearing her ACL. I saw the play live. It was not good. I was hoping that it was a non-contact injury. It wasn't a non-contact injury. She might have, banged knees, but when you saw it, her right knee just buckled, and when she planted it and it just buckled, you knew it didn't look good. You just were hoping that it wasn't as bad as it looked, but that non-contact injuries, they're the worst. And it's real unfortunate for Juju, for that USC team. You just hate to see anybody, get injured like that, especially with, the way Juju Watkins has been playing this year. She's been pretty much the star of the NCAA tournament, the star of women's college basketball this year. If things would have went as planned, as far as the brackets, they would have aligned to play UConn to go to the Final Four, and you could have had a showdown with Juju against Paige Beckers. Paige Beckers, another person that's had a lot of injuries, but she's bounced back very nicely from that. It's just a shame that we're not going to get to see that matchup, because that was the one I was really looking forward to as a basketball fan in general. And USC had, their eyes on trying to win a national title, and without Juju, I think that's going to be tough to overcome. But I'm sure USC is going to play their hearts out in the next game, their next round. But without their star player, Juju Watkins, I just don't think this team can win a national title or compete for a national title without her. Just my opinion. Because she's that big a game changer. She makes everybody around her team better. She can score. She can defend. You just can't replace players like that. And it's just a shame. Hopefully, she'll get better soon, quickly. With the technology, the modern medicine we have these days, you can come back from a torn ACL within 6-7 months. So she'll be back. She'll be better than ever. So I'm not worried about that. I'm sure Juju's disappointed, but she's not worried about that either. She'll come back just as strong as she did, before the injuries. So, we wish her the best, and hopefully for her, she gets back and plays better than ever. So, can't wait to see that. All right, well, I'm going to wrap this one up this week. I want to thank everybody for watching this episode of Have At It, episode 89. Thank you, Sean Zagna, for putting the comments in the comments section. Appreciate that as well. You're watching this on my YouTube channel, Ben Cornett 9015. Give me a like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Greatly appreciate that. As well as on Facebook in the Ben Zone Facebook group. You're watching that there as well. So, and if you want to follow me on X, I'm on X at BennyBoy702. And if you're an Instagrammer, you can watch me, or you can follow me on Instagram at Ben702 forever. So, with that being said, everybody, I'm going to take off. Appreciate you guys watching tonight, and we'll see you guys next time right here on Have At It. My name is Ben Cornett, and I'll see you next time.